Hi, class. My name is Julie Schwans, and I will be your statistics teacher for this semester. I want to do this little welcome video to show you a little tour around our classroom. So first, what you're going to do, this is our classroom that you're looking at right now. But to get here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the FresnoCityCollege.edu website. You click on My Portal at the top, and you click here to sign in. And you have a username and password. If you have trouble signing in, you can go to the main website, and then under Campus Life, you can click on Technology Help and scroll down, and they have a Student System Support Call Center. And so you can call this phone number, or you can email, I believe you can email them too if you have any problems logging in and getting to your, logging into Canvas, you can call this number. I believe you can email up here. There's also an email that you can email, but anyways. So if you're able to log in, it gives you this dashboard, and mine has some of my favorite go-to places. So if yours does not automatically show Canvas on this list, you can go to this top corner, and you can type in Canvas and to find it, and then click on it and on the down arrow. And then you click on Canvas. Let me leave student view really quickly. And then it'll show you all, as when this class is published, you'll be able to see a little square that corresponds to your class. So this is ours, the Math 11 statistics class. So we'll be clicking on that square, and that enters us into the online classroom. And in this, in this left-hand column, you will see the announcements. So I will be giving an announcement of each week of all the assignments due that week on each day. So you can click here on announcements to view announcements, and grades to view grades. On syllabus, you can click on syllabus here, and you can click on the highlighted link syllabus, and it will it will take you to the syllabus. Also on this page, all of the assignments that are due are listed by date. I don't typically use, and these are links to the actual assignments themselves, although I don't typically use this as a way to get to graded assignments. But it is a nice place to see that you can visually see all the assignments due on a given date. How do you get to your assignments? You click on modules in the left-hand column here, and I have listed out all of the assignments along with all of the resources that you'll need to complete them on this page, listed in order that they will be due. So you want to first click on the top. You click on this little down arrow next to a module to open all of the things in that module. You have class notes. These are the class notes that you can print these notes and before watching the lecture, and that way you can you could follow along and filling out the lecture notes as you go. Here's the textbook, this first link. I'm trying to fix this first link currently, but you can click on these links here to view the live textbook or accessible version. This is a slightly different version, I think, than the one that but any version of this introductory statistics class done by OpenStax will work. If you could just Google OpenStats and then go under textbooks, under math, you just find statistics and it's there, Introduction to Statistics. This is your first assignment. Let me leave a student view. So let me go back to the modules page. So notice how like some things have a little paper and pin. That when it has a paper and pin like that, that is indicating to you that this is a graded assignment, that one you must complete and submit. And also notice that graded assignments have a due date and an amount of points underneath them. So these are just resources. Class notes and textbook are just resources, but this one is a graded assignment, so we can click on it and we can enter the graded assignment. You click on, I believe it's Start Assignment. And you can enter your answers in and then click Submit Question. Underneath each question, there's a video to help you, and you can click on Message Instructor as well if you have questions about this particular assignment. You can click and toggle over to the next question until you complete every single question at the end, clicking Submit Question to complete this assignment. Then you click Done. It shows you your score on each one of the problems, and then that's how you do this assignment. You can click Next at the bottom also to toggle between assignments and resources. Next, there's a discussion, and this one's due August 13th. It's an introduction, so that you get to know yourself and your classmates. Notice how discussions have a little chat. It looks like two little chat boxes next to them. And they also have points and a due date. So those are the things. And the last thing in this Start Here module is a calculator. So you can click here and there's a graphing calculator that you may use. That's free and available to you. The actual content starts here in chapter 1. You can click on 1.1 to view the objectives in this section. Click Next. And this is your first classwork assignment. Classwork involves a video. And you click on I watched the video, and then you click Submit Question to get credit for watching the video. Then after the video comes the homework assignment. You click Start, and then you complete every homework assignment, submitting each question, and to get your points for that assignment. And every assignment here, the objectives, classwork, and homework that goes with that classwork is right below it. Section 1.1 resources is also below it, and this shows the textbook section in that reading for that section, and then also extra videos to help you understand the material. You notice that I can just click modules, and it just brings me back to this module page. And so you can go on all the way to the bottom. The chapter test is at the end at the bottom of this chapter. Also found or frequently asked questions. So I've given students hints on a particular problem, and sometimes I posted videos here on particular problems that students struggled with in this section at the bottom of that chapter. So right now you just can see chapter 1, and as we get closer to it, chapter 2 and the following chapters are going to appear. You might be wondering what things you need for this class. You need access to a graphing calculator. I provide a free online calculator in that Start Here module. So you don't, but if you don't like to toggle back and forth between website pages, and you would just like to have a handheld physical one, you can borrow one from the Fresno City College library, or you can purchase one. They're about $85, and you most likely will, if you are planning to continue in mathematics, you will probably need it for your next class. Anyways, a TI-84 calculator is good, or above that, TI-89 also works as well. Usually I'm using a TI-84 calculator or an equivalent in most of my help videos, so it would be helpful to have one of those. There are some apps like Calc 84 and Calculator 84, I believe, that work, that are free apps that you can use that are similar to the TI-84 calculator. There's an optional textbook that the main textbook we'll be using is a free online textbook. However, an optional textbook is Statistics by Informed Decisions Using Data by Michael Sullivan. Any version of this textbook, it will work. So if you want to buy a used version, or if you want immediate access, you can buy the access to the online ebook. But it provides lots of extra examples for you and solutions to many practice problems. So it is a helpful book to have. Although it is not required for the class. So what do you have to do in this class? You have to watch lectures, and like we saw, the classwork, and take notes. You have to complete the homework for each section that you watch the lecture for, and then you complete chapter reviews and chapter tests. Each week, you're going to participate in a weekly discussion. You're just going to find it in the module along with all the other assignments. Talked about how you start your assignments by clicking on modules in the left-hand column and clicking on the assignment you wish to work on. When are assignments due? If you notice that under each graded assignment is a due date for that particular assignment. Also, we're going to see due dates in the announcements, and you're going to see due dates by clicking on syllabus in the left-hand column. That shows you a list of assignments due on any particular given date. I can click back to the home page at any point. Next, where can you get help? You can get help from the FCC Tutorial Center. It's free and online and in-person tutoring. You can get help from www.khanacademy.org. That is a free website that has lots of videos on math, and they're all reliable and excellent. It's an excellent source of help. Also, you can go to Math is Power for You. That website, that YouTube channel is done by another math professor, and it's an excellent source of help for you. And you can also see extra examples in the optional text that I recommended. Also, you can message me if you have questions on any of the homework problems, and there is GRASP tutoring at Fresno City College, where math professors meet there during that. I believe it was like from 12 to 1 on Fridays on campus. So you can look in. I'll be posting information on when the GRASP hours will be. Also, here is my contact information. My name is Julie Schwans. You can email me. It's just my first name, last name at fresnocitycollege.edu. Here, you can also text message me or call me. I prefer text message. Here is my number, and you can also message me through Canvas. You can see right here, you can click on inbox right here, and then you can click on, then I have a link here to help you communicate in Canvas. Or you can request a meeting with me in my virtual classroom. And when you do that, you just email me and let me know that you would like to meet with me, and then I can schedule an appointment time, and then I'll send you a link shortly before your appointment time. So I hope that you found this valuable. I'll be make sure to come back here Monday morning, and you'll have your first assignment to complete. You'll probably be working. I would like you to do a little bit of work in this class every single day. Well, I think it's mostly Monday through Thursday that I have you can click on the syllabus here to see a full schedule of the entire semester and possible dates for the so here's the material and assignment due. So the first day you're going to be doing the syllabus and the my intro to my it's actually my open math. That assignment helps you familiarize yourself with how you're going to be inputting problems in the homework program. On Tuesday, you're going to do 1.1 material and respond to the discussion, and so on. On Wednesday, you're doing 1.2 material. On Thursday, 1.3 material, and so on. So I usually have assignments for you on Monday through Thursday. So I'd like you to log in, watch your video, and then submit your assignment each day. Anyways, let me know if you have any more questions. Have a great day. Bye.